Hey, this is Steve Keys here with Keller Williams Capital District. We are here for another walkthrough of the week. This week we are here in the town of Niskayuna. This is 1152 Palmer Ave. Mailing address is Scotia. It's still town of Niskayuna though. This is Niskayuna School District. This is a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath bungalow home. It is just under 1,700 square feet. This is a fixer-upper edition of walkthrough of the week. Just in case, you didn't know, not every home for sale in the capital region is, like super awesome, like McMansion kind of stuff. Some of the homes out there need a little bit of work. This is a good opportunity for people to get a home at a low price, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So you don't have to go out there and try and find a home that has all of the features that you want in it. You could go buy a home at a lower price and then spend the money to put your own features in there. A lot of times you can put the features in there yourself for less money than it would cost for you to buy the home that already had all of those features. So the homes out there, foreclosures, private sales, homes that need a little bit of work, those are not things that should be ignored by home buyers out there. They're a good opportunity for a home buyer to get a good quality house that has all the things that they want and pay a lower price for it. So this is going to be a fixer-upper edition. I'm probably going to do a few more of these as time goes on because personally I really do think that they're a good way to go, and as time goes on there's going to be more and more of these on the market. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the walkthrough. So we are here in the town of Niskayuna School District. This is 1152 Palmer Ave. This is a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath bungalow style home. It is just under 1,700 square feet. This particular home is in need of some renovations. It is an older home. Previous owner was an elderly owner, wasn't able to keep up with the maintenance and didn't keep it updated to the standards of, the modern today's buyer out there. So as we walk into the house, we walk into the living room, dining room area. These are hardwood floors. Floors probably need to be refinished. Well, not probably, they definitely do. But still, hardwood floors, original hardwood floors. Off the dining room area is the first of the 4 bedrooms. First of 4 bedrooms. You can see the radiators for heat throughout the home. It is a little bit more old school, but it is a very efficient method of heating the home. Some people don't like looking at it, but in a lot of ways it is more friendly than something like a forced air heating system. So I don't think it's something that should just be brushed off. Here is the full bathroom. So vanity toilet with the shower tub combo. I mean, as I said, obviously these things should be updated. So, I guess it doesn't really matter what's there now. You can change it to however you like. Off to the left here is the second of the 4 bedrooms. Each one of these bedrooms does have its own closet, which isn't always a given for a home of this age. They didn't always have closets, and you'll see that on the second floor. So as we continued in, we're in the kitchen now. So this kitchen is an eat-in kitchen. This is nice. You don't see this a lot. In the newer houses, everything's wide open, but dedicated eating area right there. It's got the little archway, the light overhead. I mean, I've said before, I kind of like old style things. I like that. The little, I don't know if you'd call that a breakfast nook. I don't know what a nook is. I'm not sure if anyone does. Here's the pantry area off the kitchen. And here's the kitchen area. Now this was actually a really nice kitchen. It's got all these built-in cabinets going all the way up to the ceiling. So I mean, back when this was done, this would have been a very nice kitchen. And the stove and refrigerator are off to the side. So cabinets obviously would be redone. Cabinets could be done all along that wall. Give you some extra storage space. So the door on the right is the door to the basement. This is an unfinished basement. It is a shallow basement though. It's got a poured floor. I think it's cylinder block foundation. It's escaping me right now. I was just down there too, and I can't remember if it's a cylinder or a cylinder block or poured foundation. But the basement is probably just barely over 6 feet tall. So it is not a basement that has the features that could be finished, unfortunately. But it is very large, so it does provide generous storage space. Now, as we come onto the second floor, we have the half bath in here. And then continuing along the hallway, waiting for my camera to focus, we have a little bit of a sitting area on here to the right. It's probably what previous owners would have used it for, what its intention was. Some closet space right here. And then this is the third bedroom. Now I want you to notice in this room right here, this is a full-size room. I didn't point it out yet, but I'll point it out again as we continue along. This second floor is what they call, because this is a bungalow-style home, the second floor is what is sometimes referred to as a 3/4 story. And what that means is that the sides of the rooms are slanted for the roof. So the far outside of the wall is only 4 feet tall. So I believe that is the requirement for code. It has to be 4 feet tall. So as we head into this master, you can see there on the right, you can see how the roof slants down. It's about 8 feet tall in the middle. And it's, actually that's not 4 feet tall, that looks like 3 feet tall. So it's 3 feet tall on the very outside. If they did this nowadays, it would have to be 4 feet tall. I'm almost positive of that. So yeah, so that's how it's set up. So that's why they call this a 3/4 story, because you don't get the full 8 feet throughout the entire room. So this is the room that I would consider would be the master bedroom for the way the home is now. The floor is currently carpeted. As I said, I wouldn't worry about that. Little door on the right is where they had the closet. And then you can see the saloon doors there on the left. That is another closet space. So when I walked up here the first time, whenever I walk into one of these second floors and I see these 3/4 stories, the immediate first thing that I think of is knock every wall down. Every single one. Just take down all of the walls and turn this entire floor into a gigantic master bedroom suite. again with the camera not focusing. But you already saw this, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So since this house needs some work on it anyway, since it would be considered a fixer-upper, that would be my thought. I would knock down every wall in here all the way to the back. And I would just make this whole floor a huge master bedroom suite. I would put a master bathroom, so you'd have 2 full bathrooms in the house. I'd put a master bathroom against that far back wall. And then in front of it, I would put the master bedroom. And then I'd put a master closet off to the side. And that's going to leave you a lot of extra space. So you could leave it all wide open, but you definitely have a bit of a sitting area here. You could wall off the master bedroom to give you some privacy, and then the rest of the space would just be a master, like a sitting area kind of thing. So, I mean, that's just my thought. I'm sure there are other options for effective ways to do it. Those are the most effective ways that I've seen of handling the 3/4 story situation. You would lose a bedroom if you were to do that, because there are 2 bedrooms on that second floor. But I mean, as you saw, one of those bedrooms is it doesn't have a closet in it anyway. So is it an ideal bedroom? Probably not. So that concludes the walkthrough of the house. Please check the property information page for the most recent information on this property. Since it is a fixer-upper, as you can see, actually they just had an open house today. Got a lot of traffic. Honestly, they had a lot of traffic come through. When I got here to do the video, the place was packed. So there was a lot of traffic on this property. I don't know if that means that anyone's going to bite at the price, but there was a lot of traffic. So check the property information page for the most up-to-date pricing if it were to change in the future. So that concludes the walkthrough. All right. So as you can see, this house could use some work. I keep saying it needs work. Does it really need work? No, probably not. It probably doesn't actually need it. People will survive if you don't do the work on the house. But it doesn't have an updated kitchen. The wood floors are definitely in need of some refinishing and other things like that. So the house could definitely use some work. So definitely qualifies as a fixer-upper. But it does have a lot of, like the wood floors, it's got a lot of redeeming features. Like it's not a tear down. It's in great condition. I didn't see any leaks or any kind of roof damage anywhere. So it seems the roof is in good condition. I can't remember what the basement is made out of, if it's CMUs or if it's poured foundation. I imagine it's probably CMUs. But I didn't see any damage down there either. So structurally, the house is in good shape. It just needs some cosmetic updates. So, and like I said, honestly, as time goes on, foreclosures are going to increase on the market. And the amount of properties that need work is going to go up. So it is a good opportunity for someone who maybe doesn't have as much of a budget as other buyers in the market to come in and get a quality property at a low price, and then they can do some of their own upgrades or work or anything like that, and they can turn it into one of those luxuriously renovated properties that everyone sees on HGTV. You just have to be willing to be able to do that kind of work on your own. So, honestly, people, for those of you who actually know me, I've got a construction background. I think it's a good opportunity for someone to like build up equity in a house. And let's face it, people don't live in houses for 60 years anymore. They live in them for like 7 or 8. So if you're gonna buy a house and renovate it, once you sell it, you're gonna make a bunch of money on the house. So I just think it's a good. People dismiss it, which I just think is a bad decision. People shouldn't dismiss it off the. Oh, I would never consider a property like that. I think you're missing out. So that's the house. So check the property information page for the most recent information on the property in case the price changes. If there's any special incentives, like I said, there was an open house today. Property information page. If there's another open house, the property information page will have that information on it. Please like my Facebook page so you can see other walkthroughs of the week and any other videos that I do on that platform. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which will have all of the videos that I ever do across any platform will be on my YouTube channel. So that concludes this week's walkthrough of the week. Thank you for joining me. And please tune in again next week for next week's walkthrough of the week. Bye-bye for now.